So then, today's video is the 296 from Worcester to Bewdley, and we are travelling on an Enviro 300, and we're just coming out of Worcester bus station with the Crown Gate shopping centre right above it. And as you probably know, the 296 started off as First Worcestershire, First Midland Red when they used to do operations in Kidderminster, but was numbered the 295 and ran from Worcester to Kidderminster via Harlow, Starport on 7 and Wilden. Then First Midland Red, First Worcestershire stopped operating in Kidderminster and was then taken over by Diamond Bus. And Diamond did the 295 up until 2018 and was then taken over by Coniston Coaches, but numbered the 296 and was rerouted to Bewdley. And the Bewdley section was previously numbered the 16, operated by Worcestershire County Council, Woosh, and of course Whittles. And I assume that First Midland Red, First Worcestershire did do a service down that corridor. So anyway, we are just crossing over the River Severn right now in Worcester. And as you probably know, the River Severn had suffered floods way before the coronavirus pandemic. So here we go. Now, as you probably know, I've been on Enviro 300s with other operators in the past, especially with the likes of Diamond Bus on the 292 Kidderminster to Ludlow, 303 Kidderminster to Worcester, which goes via Hartlebury and Ombersley. Also, I've had it on the 42 Kidderminster to Redditch and Bromsgrove. I've even had it on the 3 Kidderminster to Arley Kings. And I've had it on a few variety of routes, even the former 287, which used to run Merryhill to Stourbridge. So anyway, here we are heading over to the Henwick area, which is on the opposite side of Worcester, and we will be crossing over the level crossing at Henwick, which carries the Cotswolds and Malverns line, which is part of the Oxford, Worcester and Wolverhampton Railway. And as you probably know, there used to be a service from Worcester to Wolverhampton, a train service, and even a bus service called the 303, because as you know, the 303, which is an existing route in Worcester, used to go beyond Kidderminster to serve Stourbridge and then on to Wolverhampton. Now, I was going to do a Worcester to Wolverhampton by bus vlog in 2020, but however, due to the coronavirus restrictions, it had to be put on hold. So I will make an announcement when I'll be doing the Worcester to Wolverhampton by bus video in weeks to come. So anyway, here we are, just going down the Henwick Road towards the Worcester University. So then we're on our way now to Worcester University. And as you probably know, Worcester University is also served by the 31A, which is the Worcester to Henwick Park, operated by First Bus. And before the COVID pandemic, there was even a 31 that ran the same route, but slightly. And then during the COVID pandemic, the 31 was removed and journeys merged with the 31A. And that enabled to use larger vehicles going down that corridor, because as you probably remembered, the 31 was worked by an Optare Solo, which had a Riversider branding, Riversider livery branding for the service. So anyway, here we are now at the Worcester University right now, and we are just about to head off down towards Holteeth via Harlow, and then over Shrawley, Astley, and then over the Walshes, and then through part of the Arley Kings area, and then through Starport, through Burlish, and then going down the big hill towards Bewdley and come out into Bewdley by the Bewdley Leisure Centre and the Severn Valley Railway Station. So then we are just about to head out of Worcester and then heading towards Bewdley, going via the small hamlets like Hallow, Holteeth, Shrawley, Astley, and then over the Walshes, and then into the town of Stourport on Severn, and then after Stourport on Severn, the service will go through Burlish, and then after Burlish it will then climb for one last time, and then we'll proceed into Bewdley Lode Street, which is the main part of Bewdley, with the church that's located within the middle of the area. So there is other routes that also come across this corridor. Not only the 296, there's even a service 294 that actually follows the 296 between Worcester and Stourport, which is operated by the same company, Astons, and it was also operated by First Worcestershire, Diamond Bus and Coniston Coaches, and that only runs early in the mornings to early evenings, which are late afternoons. So here we go. And there's other routes that also serve this area, with the likes of the 310s, which is a local service in Worcester, along with the 308, and of course you've got the 758, which goes from Worcester to Tenbury Wells, which is operated by Yarringtons, and the 308 and the 310s, and even I assume the 309, which I'm not sure if it comes along here, are operated by Astons. So 308, 309, 310, 294, 296 are operated by Astons. The 758 is operated by Yarringtons, that runs the Tenbury to Worcester service. And as you probably know, if there was a video of the 758 route before the coronavirus pandemic done by Adam King, and feel free to subscribe to his YouTube channel. It's all in capital letters, and of course he's filmed this route before the coronavirus lockdown number 1, when we were in that difficult time when it was operated by Conistons and was using an Optare Solo, which was one of my favourites. It was a 55 plate Optare with seat belts in. So anyway, here we are coming into the beauty of the countryside right now, all the way to Stourport. And so anyway, here we are just about to head into the awesome countryside. Of course, you got the Top Barn, which is also an area where there's a few little independent stores. So here we are right now in the beauty countryside. This does remind you a bit of the Rabbit Run, which runs into Telford. And there will be a few more videos coming up after this video. There's going to be the rediscovered 70, the original 70 that ran Cannock to New Cross, and even the original Wolverhampton service. And then after this will be routes that were done by First Bus in Kidderminster, version 1 on the second part. And then after that, there's going to be, it's going to possibly be the 142, the Stourbridge to Hales Owen. Hales Owen to Stourbridge, which I filmed in 2019 in a Mella, but I'm going to do the 2021 edition of the 142. And then after that, there will be no videos after the 142 for a while, and hopefully maybe next week I might consider doing the 202, the Hales Owen to Bromsgrove service, which was reinstated last year, 2020, towards the end, since it got suspended and replaced by the 44 that went via Northfield, and also to include the new Bromsgrove local service. And I'll be making a few more announcements closer to the date. So then back to the route. We are now en route towards the Starport area, and we are just thrashing through the busy, bustling countryside. So as you probably know, this road does remind you a bit of the rabbit run that runs the Telford Way, and more than likely maybe the A34 trunk road, which goes from Bicester down to Winchester, which I really enjoy going on, and I hope that I'll be able to go through there in the not too distant future. So here we are. We've just passed a right street light operated by Astons, and of course we saw an LMS travel Dennis Start as well, because as you know, LMS also operate in the Worcester area. There is variety of operators that operate in Worcester. You've got Astons, you've got Diamond Bus, you've got Johnson's, you've got Yarrington's, you even got First, which is the main operator. You've got LMS, and like I say, Johnson's only do one service from Worcester, which is the 150s, which also comes with the 150A, 150B, and I assume that the 150C also goes to Worcester. And of course, in the Starport area, you only got Astons and Diamond, which are the main operators, and of course you got the community service, Wyre Forest Dial-A-Ride, that do the 213 Starport to Astley Birth, that only runs on Thursdays only. And that was also a Coniston Coaches service, and that used a little bread van, little minibus, and Wyre Forest Dial-A-Ride use a lot of their minibuses on their tendered services, well, contract services. So here we are going down into the Hallow and Holt Heath area right now, and as you probably know, this does look like the A34 trunk road, especially heading towards the Drayton area near Didcot Power Station. Well, it isn't there anymore, Didcot Power Station, because Didcot Power Station's now been demolished, and also Rugeley Power Station has been demolished as well, and along with Builders Power Station in Ironbridge, which is close to Telford. It was grey brick at the Didcot and also at the Rugeley Power Station, while the one in Ironbridge build was near Telford was a red brick one. So here we are coming along the route now, down towards the Hallow area now, and so as you know, there's a lot of cars that come up and down this road as well, because this isn't just for buses, it's for anything like cars, buses, and even taxis maybe, and even coaches as well, because as you probably know, I've had a coach on this corridor as well, when the 296 was operated by Conistons before the coronavirus outbreak, and of course it was a van haul, and I was really happy to be riding a van haul coming down towards the Bewdley area and Starport. Anyway, back to the route right now. As you can tell, we are still in the beauty countryside, and the next port of call will be turning off to serve the Shrawley area, and then over Astley, and of course you got nearby Astley Birth as well, which is served by the 213, the Wyre Forest Dial-A-Ride service, which used to be known as Conistons. And then after Astley Birth, the route then goes over the Walshes, as we all know, and then through Starport, which is home to a fun fair called Treasure Island, and of course there's the two smaller amusements called Playland, and of course there's Flamingo Amusements. So anyway, here we are now in the Holt Heath area now, and we are just turning off now, and we are just going to be heading over to the Shrawley Common and of course the Astley Common as well. So we're just going to go along the common right now, and also going past the Lenchford Inn, as we're now coming towards Lenchford now, on the 296. And as you probably know, the 758 has now parked company, and that goes through Great Whitley, which is home to the popular Whitley Court, which has a huge house and an iconic church, and even the magic water fountains as well. And of course, it then climbs up a steep hill over Aberley, which is home to the popular Aberley Hall School, which is a boarding school as well, which also has its iconic clock tower, which I used to refer to as Little Ben, not to be confused with Big Ben, which is part of the Houses of Parliament in London. And then that route then goes over towards Tenbury Wells area, which terminates in Team Street at Tenbury Wells, and then turns around at the swimming pool and then returns back to Worcester. There is another service that operates in the Tenbury area that runs frequently, and it's of course the 291 that runs to Kidderminster and goes by Clouds Top and then the Far Forest. And as you probably know, the 291 used to be operated by R&B Travel, Holland's Coaches, and of course it started off as First Midland Red, which was known as the Midland Red West back in the day. So here we are, just heading up towards the Shrawley area now. And as you probably know, this has a lot of tight lanes. Well, heading up towards Astley, sorry. And as you know, there's a lot of tight lanes on this route. And it does actually remind me a bit of the 297, the Kidderminster to Bridge North, because as you know, the 297 goes along loads of narrow lanes, and probably a little bit similar to the 125, which is the Stourbridge to Bridge North, that goes via Kidderminster and Bewdley. And of course, as you probably know, this was the scenic version of the 303, the Kidderminster to Worcester service. Now the 303 will be coming up very, very soon, and I will make an announcement when that video is going to be done and released. The same will also go with the Worcester to Wolverhampton by bus as well. And the 202 should be coming up sometime next week or beyond. And also to include this new Bromsgrove link called the DRT, which operates the Bromsgrove town area. And here we are, just going along the route all the way into Shrawley and Astley. So here we go, we're going round a bend right now, and as you probably know, you do see variety of pylons on the 296 as well, because there's pylons in the field on the 296. There's even some on the 303 route as well, which is the Worcester to Kidday, and of course there is some on the 144 Worcester to Birmingham, and there is some on quite the majority of the routes, even the 355, the Droitwich one, and there's also some on the 294. You don't get many seen on the 15, which is the Kidderminster to Stourport via Wilden. Well, you do see some in the field, but however, you don't get to see much pylons, rather than the likes of the 303 and the 144s and most of the 296 as well. And you do see pylons as well. You don't on the service 291, the Tenbury one, and also you don't get to see pylons either on the Ludlow service, which is the 292 from Kidderminster, and of course you get to see a few on the 125, the Stourbridge to Bridge North. So anyway, we're en route towards the Starport area right now. And as you probably know, Starport used to have a service from Kidderminster through to Tenbury Wells, which was a scenic version of the 291 and was operated by Yarringtons and went via Great Whitley and Aberley. But sadly, that service got withdrawn and was the Service 760. So then we are nearly on the approach to Stourport on 7, which is home to the Treasure Island amusements, which I've mentioned, along with the Playland and the Flamingo. And of course, Stourport has a lot of independent shops. But however, you do have bigger names to be seen in Stourport, with the likes of Tesco and Co-op and Lidl, Sainsbury's local, which is a convenience store. And you even have B&M Express, which is like Heron Foods, and of course Superdrug, and even Timpson, the cobbler shops. You even got betting shops. You've got WH Smith's, which is closing. And of course you've got Lloyd's TSB, the bank. You even got other banks in Stourport as well. So there is a lot of bigger names as well as little independents in the town. And of course, Stourport, you've got the Freeze that goes from Kidderminster around the Arley Kings area, which is operated by Diamond. It used to be known as the X-Ray and used to go from Arley Kings down to Redditch. And of course, as well as that, you've got a skate park. You even got the Riverside Meadows as well. You even got car parks for any people who prefer to come to Stourport by car. And of course you even got Dunley Hall, but unfortunately Dunley is not within Stourport area, meaning it has to be accessed by car because there's no bus service that actually goes along that corridor anymore, following the withdrawal of the 760, which I never knew. And didn't even know that there was another Kiddie to Tenbury Wells service. And of course, Stourport used to have a railway link, which used to be part of the Oxford, Worcester and Wolverhampton Railway on the Stourbridge area. And of course, as well, in Stourport you've got local estates with the likes of Arley Kings. You've got Arley Common, Dunley, you've got Upper Mitton, you've got Burlish, you've got Charlton, you've got Titton, you've got Worsley, which is just close to Hartlebury, and then of course you've got Wilden as well, and then comes out by Summerfield and also Hoobrook, because as you know, Hoobrook is where the viaduct is located towards the Kidderminster area. And the free service is the fast and direct service between Kidderminster and Stourport, while the 15am, 15C go on a detour to serve Wilden and Burlish. And of course you've got the Ford garage, but that's over the Hoobrook way. And of course there's a McDonald's in Kidderminster as well. But however, McDonald's is off this route and is served by the 15. The 296 after Stourport will continue on to Bewdley and will go via the Bewdley Road, which will become the Bewdley Road North, and then we'll come onto the A456, the Stourport Road, and then we'll turn off onto the B4195 past the Bewdley Leisure Centre, and then come into Bewdley Town Centre, which will be close to Bewdley Museum, which is a local history museum, and it's free to get in. And of course there's even crafts and even gardens at the back of the museum. And as well as that, in Bewdley there's even a fish and chip shop, there's even pubs, and you even got a Tesco Express, and of course you've got a bookshop, you've got charity shops, Co-op, and of course you've got the church, which sits in the middle of Bewdley. And of course there's a lot of different shops to see in Bewdley, and we'll get to Bewdley just after Stourport to complete the video. And as you know, Bewdley is served by a variety of services, but I'll mention that when we get to Bewdley. So anyway, we're just coming along the Walshes area right now nearly, and then we'll be proceeding on towards the town of Stourport. And here is the Walshes area. Over Astley, which is also close to Astley Birth, and we also gone through Astley Cross, because of course you got Astley Cross and Arley Common, because we're on the Arley Common area, and we'll then go over the Red House Road past the King's Arms pub and of course the Astley Cross pub, because there's a pub called the Astley Cross. And of course you got the Arley King's Methodist Church as well. And then after that it goes past a few numbers of locations. So anyway, here we are, turning off now on the B4194, and then we're going to turn right onto Red House Road and then carry along down towards the road, and then we'll join up at Arley Common and then go on to the A451, which will take us into Stourport, called the Dudley Road. So here we go right now, just nearly about to turn off. Right now. So here we go, just about to turn off very shortly. And as you probably know, when this route was operated by Conistons, it used Optare Solos and Optare Solo SRs, and I've had a lot of the Optare Solos with Diamond Bus, which was on the services 287 Stourbridge to Merry Hill, 250 Stourbridge Circular, 251 Stourbridge and Merry Hill Circular, 299, 298 Stourbridge Circulars, 267, 657. Well, I didn't have one on the 267, but I had one on the 657 Kings Winford to Stourbridge. I didn't mean to say the 267. And of course, I've had a solo as well on the 142 Stourbridge to Halesowen. Well, Halesowen to Stourbridge, and I've even had one on the 2 on the 202 Bromsgrove to Halesowen. I've even had one on the 42, Kidderminster to Redditch, well, only between Kidderminster and Bromsgrove. And I've even had a solo on the one from Kidderminster to Rifle Range. I've had some solos on the 580, Kidderminster to Kimver. I've even had a solo on the 9A, 9C, Stourbridge, Kidderminster and Cookley Circulars. I've had even had one on the service 133 Kidderminster to Droitwich, well, one or two, three solos. And anyway, we're just about to approach the town of Stourport. So then we are now on the Walshes estate, just by the Arley Kings area now, on the 296, and we shall soon be arriving into Stourport, and we will be joining onto the A451, the Dudley Road, into the town of Stourport, and crossing the River Severn again, and then for the final time we will cross the River Severn into Bewdley. So here we go right now, just over the housing estate. And as you probably know, the 296 does a lot of housing estates, and then goes into the town of Stourport itself. So then here we are, nearly arriving towards the turn-off point onto the Dudley Road, and as you can tell, we are heading nearly onto the Dudley Road after completing the trip down the Walshes area, and then heading along towards the town of Stourport, which will be coming up very soon, because as you know, Stourport is not far away from the Walsh's estate, and as you probably remembered previously in one of our last videos, when we did Kidderminster Adventure version number 3, you probably realised that the Frees did not go all the way from Kidderminster to Holy Kings, because the bridge was closed off for repairs, meaning people had to walk across the bridge and then get a replacement bus that would run between the bridge and of course Holy Kings, and then people having to walk to town to catch the service into Kidderminster. And also the 296 had to divert to go towards Stourport, and I'm not sure if it did serve the estate, the Walsh's estate, when the diversions were in place. And so anyway, here we are going in towards Stourport nearly. So Stourport will not be that far nearly. And so here is the houses here in Stourport. And we are soon heading to the town of Stourport, and then after that we'll head towards Bewdley via the Burlish area, because as you know, Burlish is also an estate within Stourport as well. So Burlish will be coming up as well, and then after Burlish the service will then head down into Bewdley, and that's where the service will terminate. And then after that the service will then go back to Worcester, but however it will not include the video, and then does one final trip to Bewdley, and then one final trip back to Worcester, and then changes to an early evening 294 to Kidderminster. And then the other 294 had completed a journey from the 15th. So anyway, here we are coming onto the Dudley Road right now, and we will soon be arriving into the town of Stourport, and then the service will head along towards the Walsh's area before doing a circuit around the Tesco supermarket, because as you know, the service does a vice versa. It actually repeats the same road, which is of course the so-called A451. So what it does, it goes down the Gilgal, down towards the Tesco, then goes onto the 7 Road, does a turnaround, goes back on itself, and then after that it then goes onto the Mitten Street, then over the A451, and then turn onto the B41 195, and then which is of course the Bewdley Road. So anyway, there is the amusements in Stourport right now, the Treasure Island, and of course as you know, the 296 will also become part of the Coniston Coaches Legacy Adventure, which I've been in the process of doing. So that will include the 296 route along with the other routes that Coniston did, like the 213, the Stourport to Astley Birth, even the service 294 Worcester to Kidderminster, 580 Kimver to Kidderminster up to Kimver, and of course the 133, which is the Kidderminster up to Droitwich. As you probably know, 294, 296 and the 15, which were operated by Coniston, went to Astons. The 213, Starport to Astley Burr, Thursdays only, went to White Forest Dial-A-Ride. The 580 went from Coniston's back to Diamond Bus, which did the service before. And of course the 133 went forward towards Finesse Travel. And I was surprised. I was thinking Diamond could have gone for the 133 or either LMS or Astons, but however Finesse bidded the 133, and Finesse also do another service in Droitwich, but it's Tuesdays and Thursdays only, called the 354 from Droitwich to Redditch, and there will be a Finesse travel adventure coming up very soon, so stay tuned. So then, here we are now coming towards the Tesco supermarket in Stourport, and only the 296 does the loop on the Tesco supermarket in Stourport. However, the 15A and 15C do serve the Tesco, but don't do the loop compared to the 296. The 296 goes down the Severn Road, then turns off left and goes on to a little roundabout, turns round, and then goes back on itself, and then back onto the A451, and then to proceed on towards Bewdley, just by the old church, which is located close by, just off Mitten Street. So here we are, coming onto the loop now, just by the Tesco supermarket in Stourport. So here we go, we're just going to do the little mini roundabout and then going onto the Severn Road before heading towards Bewdley. So anyway, here we are coming to the mini roundabout, which is just right here, and so here's the mini roundabout just right here at the Tesco store in Stourport. So here we go, and we're just going to go past the Tesco for the past the Tesco again, and then we will head towards Bewdley. So here we go, past the Tesco again, and then we're going to head up towards Bewdley via Burlish. Well, down towards Bewdley. Why am I saying up? So anyway, here we go. Up towards the old church, and then we'll turn back onto the same road which we did previously to go towards Tesco's, and we're just going to turn right. So anyway, we're back on the same road now, all the way towards the top end, and then we'll head on towards the Bewdley area, and then the journey will soon be completed. And turning off straight then goes on towards Birch and Coppice, which is further on, and that is served by the Freeze from Arley Kings. And here we go, we're just about to turn off left. So as you probably might have noticed, my phone battery was dropping down to a low percent, so then here we are now on the Bewdley Road North all the way to Bewdley, which has come from the Bewdley Road, and we're heading towards Burlish. And of course there's a crossover point in Burlish, that is of course Burlish Crossing and Kingsway, and then of course you got Lickhill Road North, which goes on to Lower Lickhill Road and then on to the main Lickhill Road. The Bewdley Road North carries on, which is of course the B4 195 and then goes into the Stourport Road, and however the Stourport Road carries on as the A456 towards the back end of the West Midlands Safari Park and joins up onto the Kidderminster Road, which then joins onto the Bewdley Hill, and then the Bewdley Hill comes onto another Bewdley Road, which is just by the Kidderminster General Hospital, and crosses over Blake Brook, which is the A4535, and then Bewdley Road continues into Kidderminster, and then the turn off goes to Proud Cross Ringway, and then goes on to the Franch Road, to then proceed onto the Bridgenorth Road into Bridgenorth. And then, of course, it also continues as the St Mary's Ringway into the town of Kidderminster, and then joins up onto a road called the Birmingham Road, called the A456. And that goes all the way towards Birmingham. It crosses over the Chester Road North, and Birmingham Road goes all the way past the Hodge Hill, and then goes along through Blakedown, and it takes a while, and then joins up onto the Kidderminster Road South, and then joins up onto a Worcester Road, and then back onto a Kidderminster Road, and then of course the Stourbridge Road goes as the A491, and then the Kidderminster Road goes along towards another Stourbridge Road, and then the Birmingham Road carries on to Hagley Hill, and then goes onto a roundabout. Now you probably noticed there was a bit of clicking going on. That is only me with the mouse connected to my PC, just showing you the roads on Google Maps from where they link up to. So anyway, we're just coming out the Burlish area, and we will be climbing up for the final time, and then be arriving into Bewdley. And then we'll be terminating at Bewdley Lode Street, because that's the terminus of the 296 service from Worcester. So anyway, here we are climbing up all the way towards Bewdley, which will be the final destination, and also the popular Georgian town in Worcestershire. So then we're on our way to Bewdley, which will be the final destination on the 296. And as you probably know, we're travelling what was once the old 16. That was the Stourport to Bewdley. And that was like a good shuttle service for passengers going from Stourport to Bewdley to join routes like the 291, Kidderminster to Tenbury Wells, 292 to Ludlow, 125 to Bridgenorth. And that avoided them going via Kidderminster, because as you know, Kidderminster can be busy. However, the 16 was an alternative to get to Bewdley, to connect on to places like Bridgenorth, and even onto the likes of Tenbury and Ludlow. So anyway, here we are, just climbing up the hill, and we shall soon be arriving at Bewdley, where the journey will end. And of course, as you know, Adam King, his YouTube channel, full capital letters, he did the route going the same way as what I'm doing, just before the first coronavirus lockdown, from when it was operated by Conistons. So anyway, here we are, just arriving into Bewdley. We will soon be heading by the Bewdley Leisure Centre, and then we will be terminating at Bewdley Lode Street. And that will be the end of the journey for the 296. And all I have to say, hope you have enjoyed the journey. And please be sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel, Joe's Bus Train Plane Lift Adventures. And as you probably might know, we always do a bit of updates, and that was just me typing in the background. So as you probably know now, we have just reached 550 subscribers. So let's hope we can go beyond 550 subscribers, up to the highest number, but who knows. So here we are, just arriving into Bewdley, and of course Bewdley has good connections to the likes of Ludlow, Tenbury, even Bridge North, and even connections to Hales Park and Bark Hill, and then the link onto Kidderminster and even onto Stourbridge. So here we are, just going along the Bewdley estate, and then we'll be going along the river. Right now, we'll be nearly going along the river into Bewdley, and then we'll cross the River Severn for the final time into Bewdley, and we will be just outside the Bewdley Fish and Chip Shop. So all I have to say, I hope you enjoyed the video. It's been a pleasure to show you a lot of the bus routes that comes up on the channel. The next video to come on the channel is going to be the 142 Stourbridge to Hales, Halesowen to Stourbridge. Might include the 002 Merrill to Halesowen, but we'll see. But however, I won't be doing the Wheely Castle section on the 002, but I will be doing that maybe at some point in the near future, but who knows. So here we are, just arriving into the Bewdley area right now, and that brings to the end of the video. So I'll see you again for another Joe's Bus Train Plane Lift Adventures vlog, and thank you for coming along, and we will see you all again very soon. Bye for now. So then, we are just now leaving the 3-minute delay 296, departing from Worcester to Bewdley. Now we do apologise for the delay. This is due to an error on the computer ticketing system on the 149 towards Redditch. So I'm just leaving. So we've got a Volvo B7 RLE with a Plaxton Centro body. So we're finally now leaving Worcester. So now let's get out of Worcester and head to Bewdley. So here we are, just about to pull out the crown gates. So starting is the yellow Citaro on the 44. It's coming in from Great Malvern. So I'm just coming out of the bus station. Now of course this is the first time Diamond has actually returned onto this corridor. I'm so happy that Diamond's now back on this corridor at last, finally, after this is now the permanent operator that's now taken over the service from the previous operator, Astons Coaches, which did the service since 2020 during a difficult year, and which they took over from Coniston, and Coniston introduced the 296 to replace the 295, which was done by Diamond themselves, and Diamond also did the 294. So we are just now coming out of Worcester. So of course we've got a Plaxton Centro, yeah, just like the Volvo V7 RLE Plaxton Centro which we had on the 31A, but except this is a Diamond one. That one was the first bus. Of course we've got leather seats because these are the ex-Black Country Diamond buses, because it used to be the Black Livery before 30823 alongside 30825. So I'm just going to cross the River Severn. Oh, there's Worcester Cathedral, just right there. Nice looking cathedral, and there's the river. Looking really splendid. Nice to see Worcester in good spirit. Of course we're now moved into autumn. So autumn is now with us, so we're on our way into winter. However, winter is not here
just yet. But however, the fun at Joseph's Drag Life Adventures is going to carry on. We're hoping to see a full recover half at the end of this year, following the 2-year disruption. So I'm so happy to be back out and about again. There's the rugby club there at Worcester. Tractor and the mower is ploughing. I used to love tractors quite a lot when I was a kid. Oh no, it's the sports field. Towards Tewkesbury, Ledbury and Malvern, and of course the 24th, that will possibly have to be done virtual due to obvious reasons. So there's the Volvo V70L right Gemini body, that's doing the 30s down towards Dine Screen, so here we go. Back down the Hendwick Road as we were on the 31A. So then, we're just going. So I'm so happy to see Diamond now once again doing the 296. This time we got bigger vehicles on, because when Diamond did it originally, they usually used the smaller type vehicles. The only larger vehicles you probably have found on the fleet. Was of course the Denny Starts, the exposed ones, but they're no longer on the fleet anymore. So it's a shame to see the loss of them lovely Denny Starts. And of course, normally it's a smaller type of Denny Starts with the main fleet, main buses, but there's no longer any Denny Starts in Kidderminster anymore, which is a shame. And of course they did use Enviro 200s on this route as well. But the main buses are mainly Centro or Street Lights. Occasionally, and at peak times on the 294 they do use the Celo SR. Well, for a start it was the Versa. Ex-Clarabelle as well. Going back towards where the university is. Now the 296 doesn't go into the university as originally said on the 31A video. It goes into it's the 31A and the 31s, but apparently we can't fill the university property because it's private property. So there's the bus stop for the university. So I'm just now going to turn left onto the Hendwick Road as we proceed into the countryside. Hendwick Park. So 296 is so great to go past Hendwick Park. over the 296 doesn't serve that bit. It's just Hulty. So this is Hulty. straight round Harley Kings. turning left towards the town centre.
So then we are now on the approach into Stourport on 7 on the service 296, which has been recently introduced to Diamond Bus to replace the operation of the service that was done by Astons coaches. As you probably know, Astons coaches could no longer run this service along with the 294 and the S15. So now these routes are with Diamond, well, back with Diamond, but however, Diamond ran the 296 as the 295. The 296 was some route that Coniston had created. So this route was created on behalf of Coniston in 2018, and then in 2020, Coniston ended, in 2020, Coniston coaches threw the route back in and went on to Astons coaches. Astons did it until this present day, 2022, and now Diamond buses have taken over the service. So Diamond now operate this run now onwards. So it's really nice to see that Diamond is now doing the 296 at last. However, it is a bit weird because, as you know, this is one of the only diamond routes in Worcester. Well, it's the only diamond route in Worcester that doesn't even go to Kidderminster. So we're now on the approach to Stourport High Street. So we're now coming towards Stourport High Street. So then we are now going through Stourport High Street, and we are now going to be proceeding to Bewdley. But the first thing, we're going to go through the Stourport Tesco store. Yes, we're going to go through the Stourport Tesco, which is the supermarket. So we're going to go through Stourport Tesco supermarket before proceeding on towards Bewdley. And once we get to Bewdley, the journey will then be completed. So finally, Diamond are now doing the 296 and the 294 routes. Finally, at last, I'm so happy that Diamond has now added these routes onto their network. And so it fits in as well with the 15A, 15C, and of course the 580. The only routes that are not operated by Diamond in Kidderminster are like the routes that are part of like lonely, in like lonely locations like the 7A and the 12s and the those are the and the 213, because those are run by the Wire Forest Dial-A-Ride, and of course the major bus routes that are not run by Diamond in the Kidderminster area is the 133 to Kidderminster, 133 Kidderminster to Droitwich, sorry, as that's run by Finesse. The 297 is run by Arriva to Bridge North, and the 291 to Tenbury Wells is run by Yarringtons. So Yarringtons operate the 291 service to Tenbury Wells. So those are the routes that are operated by the different operators in the Kidderminster area. So there's not going to be many independents left in Kidderminster now, apart from that Dial-A-Ride. But we don't know what's going to happen with the 291 yet. Hopefully that Yarringtons will carry on with that, and the same will go with the 133 with Finesse. But I can't really say what's going to happen yet. But I'll let you all know when there is confirmation, and I will update this YouTube channel, and I always will do, because this is really important to keep the YouTube channel maintained at all costs. So then guys, we're now coming towards Stourport Tesco's. So we're now on our way to the Tesco's in Stourport, and we shall soon be then proceeding onwards towards our final destination, which of course will be Bewdley. So anyway, here's the Stourport Tesco store. So once we've gone through the Tesco's, we'll then go back on ourselves, and then we're going to go back onto that road where we were to head down towards the Gilgal, and then we're going to turn left when we get to the top to then head in towards the Bewdley area. So we'll be on our way towards Bewdley. Now I do apologise for the service being 3 minutes late and then went into 5 minutes late. This was due to a hold up at Worcester bus station, but however we're now en route now, so the hold up has now been sorted. So let's just carry on with the video guys as we proceed further towards the Bewdley.
Street, where this journey was terminating.